12-year-old girl's letter shocks the president. His response stuns the nation. Donald Trump, having recently wrapped up a busy day filled with meetings and public appearances, was heading toward his usual destination, his private jet, prepared for yet another long flight. As he made his way through the busy streets of New York, his eyes caught sight of something unusual. Among the bustle of the city, a street vendor stood quietly at her cart, selling simple items like fruit and bottled water. But there was a sense of sadness in her demeanor that caught his attention. Her name was Lily. She was a woman of modest means, struggling to make ends meet. She wasn't particularly remarkable in her appearance, though there was something about her that seemed out of place in the chaotic, fast-paced environment of the city. Her clothes were slightly worn and a bit soiled, a reminder of the challenges she faced every day. As Trump approached the vendor, he found himself intrigued by her quiet presence, which contrasted sharply with the usual noise and rush of the city. Lily's small stand seemed almost forgotten in the sea of towering skyscrapers and the endless streams of pedestrians. Lily's life had been one of hardship. She had come to the city with dreams of making a better life for herself. But like so many others, her aspirations had slowly faded as the realities of survival in an unforgiving world took over. Each day she woke up early, hoping for a miracle. But miracles, she had learned, were rare. For years, she had worked tirelessly at the street corner, trying to sell her meager goods, fruits, vegetables, and the occasional homemade item, to anyone who would stop. Yet it was rare for her to even make enough to cover her basic expenses. On that particular day, things had been no different. Lily was on the verge of packing up and heading home when she noticed a tall figure approaching her stand. It was Donald Trump. "Excuse me, are you all right?" Trump asked, his voice a blend of curiosity and concern. Lily was startled, unsure if she had heard him correctly. She hadn't expected someone like him to notice her, let alone speak to her. "Yes, I'm fine," she replied softly, her gaze dropping to the ground, a little embarrassed by the condition of her stand. She didn't want to draw any more attention to herself, but Trump's gaze was fixed on her. He noticed her worn clothes and the tired expression that seemed to weigh heavily on her. Something about her seemed different from the many vendors he had passed over the years. "I don't think you are fine," Trump said, taking a moment to look around. "How long have you been doing this?" Lily hesitated, unsure whether to be open with him. She had learned to keep her struggles to herself, as people often didn't care or were too preoccupied with their own lives to listen. But something about the way Trump spoke, direct, almost fatherly, made her feel like she could trust him. "I've been at it for a while," she said quietly. "Years, actually. But it's just not enough. I can't seem to get ahead. Every day feels like I'm stuck in the same place." Trump nodded slowly as if contemplating her words. He wasn't used to people being so upfront about their struggles. Most of the time, people only showed him their successes, their polished exteriors, and their carefully curated images. This woman, however, had nothing to hide. She was raw, vulnerable, and real. "I can see that," Trump said after a pause, "but sometimes what we need is a little push, a little help to get us back on track." Lily looked up at him, her curiosity piqued. "What do you mean?" Trump glanced at the small crowd of people walking by, all of them lost in their own worlds, too busy to notice the quiet interaction taking place. He turned back to Lily, his expression serious. "I've built a lot of things in my life," he began. "I know what it takes to succeed, but success isn't always about money or status. It's about opportunity. And sometimes the difference between struggling and succeeding is simply having someone believe in you." Lily felt a knot form in her stomach. Was he offering her something? She had heard promises before, empty words that led to nowhere. But something in Trump's voice, something in the way he looked at her, told her that this was different. "What are you saying?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm saying that I can help you," Trump replied, his tone unwavering. "I see something in you, Lily, something that tells me you have the potential to do more than sell fruit on a street corner." Lily shook her head. "I don't know if I have what it takes to do more. I've tried. I've failed." Trump stepped closer to her, his presence imposing, yet strangely comforting. "Everyone fails," he said, his voice softer now. I've failed plenty of times, but I didn't give up. And I'm not going to let you give up either. Lily's eyes welled up with tears, and she quickly wiped them away, not wanting to show weakness. But deep inside, a part of her wanted to believe him. She had spent so many years feeling invisible, as if no one cared, as if her struggles were insignificant. But here was this man, someone who had everything, offering her a chance. "Why would you help me?" she asked, still unsure. Trump smiled, a small but sincere grin. "Because I see something in you. I see strength, resilience, and the kind of spirit that doesn't give up, no matter how hard things get." Lily's heart raced. Could it be true? Could someone like Donald Trump actually believe in her? She had to admit she was intrigued, though cautious. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, still overwhelmed. "You don't have to say anything right now," Trump said gently. "But think about it. Think about what you could achieve if you had the right resources, the right guidance, and the right people behind you." Lily nodded, a part of her still in disbelief. This encounter, this unexpected meeting, felt surreal. But something about it felt right. As Trump turned to leave, he paused and glanced back at her. "I'll be in touch, Lily," he said. "This isn't over. It's just the beginning." And with that, he walked away, leaving Lily standing there, feeling a strange mix of hope and uncertainty. The days that followed Donald Trump's encounter with Lily were a blur. She couldn't stop thinking about their conversation. It had felt surreal, like a dream she wasn't sure she was ready to wake up from. How could someone like him, someone with so much power and success, genuinely care about her? She was just a street vendor, insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Yet there was a part of her that couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. True to his word, Trump did get in touch. One evening, as Lily closed her stand and prepared to head home, she received a call from an unfamiliar number. It was him. "Lily, it's Donald Trump," he said, his voice as confident as ever. "I've been thinking about our conversation. I want to help you. Meet me tomorrow morning at my office. I have a proposal for you." Her heart skipped a beat. It wasn't the kind of opportunity she had ever imagined, let alone dreamed of. But the reality was right in front of her. She agreed without hesitation, despite her nervousness. The next day, Lily found herself standing outside a towering building in the heart of Manhattan, the Trump Tower. It felt like a different world from the streets she was used to. The contrast between the polished elegance of the building and the gritty reality of her life was stark. Trump's assistant escorted her through the lobby and up to his office, a sleek space filled with glass and modern furniture. When she entered, Trump was already there, waiting for her with a warm smile. "Welcome, Lily," he said, standing to shake her hand. "I'm glad you made it." Lily tried to keep her composure, though everything around her was overwhelming. She had never been in a place like this before, and the sheer scale of it all made her feel small. Yet in Trump's presence, there was a sense of reassurance. Something about the way he carried himself made her feel that she wasn't out of place here, even though she had never belonged in such luxurious surroundings. "Please, have a seat." Trump gestured toward a chair across from his desk. Lily sat down, her hands trembling slightly. Trump didn't waste time. He got straight to the point, as he always did. "I've been thinking about your situation, Lily. You've been working hard for a long time, but it's clear that you need more than just effort. You need resources. You need a plan. And most importantly, you need someone to believe in you." Lily nodded, feeling a surge of emotions she couldn't quite explain. His words, though simple, felt like a lifeline thrown to someone who had been drowning for far too long. "I want to help you start a real business," Trump continued. "Not just selling fruit on the streets, but a legitimate company. You've got the determination. You just need the right opportunity." Lily's eyes widened. "A business? But I don't know the first thing about running one." Trump smiled, his confidence unwavering. "That's where I come in. I'll guide you. I've built many businesses, and I can help you avoid the mistakes I made along the way. Together, we can turn this around." She was speechless, struggling to comprehend what was being offered to her. Was this really happening? How do we even start?" she asked, still trying to wrap her mind around the idea. I'll arrange for you to get the right training, the right mentorship, and the right contacts. You won't be alone in this. And I'll make sure you have enough financial backing to get things off the ground. But you have to commit, Lily. This is a big step, and it's going to take hard work and dedication. Are you ready for that? Lily hesitated. She had spent so many years just trying to survive that the idea of truly thriving felt both exciting and terrifying. But as she looked at Trump, his unwavering belief in her giving her a sense of strength she hadn't known she had, she realized that this was her chance to build something more, something lasting. I'm ready, she said, her voice firm, despite the nerves that still lingered inside her. Trump nodded, satisfied with her answer. Good, let's get started. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of meetings, research, and planning. Trump kept his word, providing Lily with the resources and mentorship she needed. He introduced her to a network of successful entrepreneurs, each of whom offered their advice and guidance. Lily began to learn the ins and outs of running a business, from managing finances to marketing strategies. And she quickly realized that the world of entrepreneurship was far more complex than she had ever imagined. But she was determined. As she immersed herself in her new venture, she found herself growing in confidence. Her ideas were beginning to take shape, and she started to understand the importance of branding, product development, and customer relations. She wasn't just a street vendor anymore. She was a business owner with a vision and the tools to make it happen. Trump checked in on her progress regularly, offering advice and pushing her to keep moving forward. His tough exterior never wavered, but there was always a sense of genuine care behind his words. He had seen potential in her from the beginning, and now it was up to her to prove him right. Lily's business slowly began to take off. What started as a modest street cart blossomed into a small store in a more upscale part of the city, catering to a growing clientele. She expanded her product offerings, turning her focus from just fruit and simple items to more specialized goods. She found herself collaborating with local artisans and farmers, creating a niche for herself in the community. But success didn't come without its challenges. There were setbacks, slow sales during the off-seasons, the pressure of keeping up with the competition, and the constant need for innovation. Yet through it all, Lily refused to give up. She had Trump's support, but more importantly, she had found her own strength. One day, as she looked out the window of her newly opened shop, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. She had come so far from a struggling street vendor to a business owner. And as she thought about the journey ahead, she knew there was still much more to accomplish. But no matter what the future held, Lily knew one thing for certain. She had made it, and it was just the beginning.